So one of the things on the list is a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Navid, right? We have a bottle of wine, and that's really it. Ostensibly, beverage wise, ostensibly, we just have the bottle of wine, and he's going from Egypt, Yemen, all the way out to India, right?
No, he's going home from India after living there on and off for 12 years. So he's sailing from Mangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was established quite early on because he's packing lots of rice. He's packing mango pickle. He's packing also kinds of containers that are distinctive to the Malabar coast. So he's traveling from India back to the Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he goes back to Egypt, which is where he died. He died in Cairo. One mention of a bottle of Nabith going out, which let's underline at the period, Nabith could be date wine. It could be any kind of fruit-based wine. It's not necessarily grape wine, but we only have one bottle of that going out and one going back in his luggage. But what I realized then is that 3/4 of these personal shopping lists include raisins that are delivered to him.
And before I read, the chapters you sent me of Abraham's luggage, raisins are just raisins, right? They're just raisins. They're you eat them. Maybe they're snacks for kids. That's it. Until I realized, having read what you wrote, is that they can also be transformed into a beverage, and even better with alcohol. So and basically the notion, and I think you went back to 9th century Rav Amram Gaon, who writes about the permissibility of, I guess you steep them, you put water with these raisins, and you can create some type of wine-ish.
Yeah, my big revelation, my moment, was a very nice article by Jonathan Sarna, and again I'll send you the reference. And he was actually writing about the problems.
I found it.
Perfect.
So
he
actually, having seen the citation, I was like, I have to read it. And so it is excellent. I'll reach out to him, because this is a really cool article about 19th century American Jews and but raisin wine. Yeah,
precisely. So it was reading him about the problem of American Jews faced accessing kosher wine, and part of what he explores in footnotes especially is how in the 19th century American Jews were also looking to the Babylonian Talmud and other sources to understand whether raisin wine could be one of the solutions to their problem about not having access to kosher wine. And when I read his piece, it was like, oh, but of course, there we go. And so actually, the things I quote are very much based on Jonathan Sarna's piece. So, for example, a 9th century opinion of Amram Gaon, who died in 875 and was head of the Jewish Academy of Sura in Iraq. He lists some of the special circumstances that meant you could substitute grape wine with raisin wine. And, they match perfectly for Abraham ben Yiju's situation. So you could substitute if one cannot find wine within a reasonable distance from one's home, or if one is on board a ship and cannot obtain any wine, and you can obtain wine then by soaking raisins in water. And it actually turns out to be a really common practice, interestingly traceable among Middle Eastern Christians, who sometimes during the Islamic period faced the same problem of accessing grape wine, which obviously they need for the Mass.
Right, in Egypt.
In Egypt. And then actually, if you look at from the 1980s, some of the Bnei Israel cookbooks produced in India, they again often have recipes for raisin wine because it became a staple form of wine production among Jewish communities in India, right into the 80s when global supply chains changed and it was actually then easier to access grape wine and the tradition of raisin wine died out.